what's happening, everybody? This is Can I Get More Podcasts in my monitor. I am Johnny Ruckus. I hope all is well today. Today, I'm sharing part 2 of my conversation with my friend Mike Matthews of the Frickin' Alloy Plot. Thank you so much for being here. Once again, Mike Matthews. I like guitar nerd shit.
Yeah, I know a little.
Yeah,
not a lot, but a little.
I'm not like there are people that are deep.
Yeah,
I'm deep. I'm not deep.
Yeah,
I'm deep. A little bit. I love guitar shit. What is that? A Jackson?
Yep.
That's your main bitch.
Yep.
That thing it's weird in a good way. I
Yeah,
don't know why it's not weird. Like weird. It's just kind of weird because it's like all blue.
Yeah, bright blue.
Yeah.
And bright blue headstock, and then the maple neck. I believe a maple neck.
And then it's got a
Yeah. Like I'm the type of guy, like I get into guitars. I know some of the specs and stuff and whatever to look at them and stuff. But basically, what it comes down to is like I've played $100 guitars that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
And then I've played $1,000 guitars that I'm like, how can anyone play this piece of crap? So I mean, it basically comes down to the feel for
Yep.
me, I guess.
yeah. Insane.
But the Jackson with those Seymour Duncans in it, it's just... I actually ran into it. It was at Mike's Music, and I seen it. And the blue, one of my favorite colors, that electric blue just jumped off the shelf at me.
Yeah.
And I grabbed it, and they had a 5150 lunchbox.
Oh, okay.
Amp
Yeah.
there. And I'm like, I want to try out this guitar, and I really like that amp. I was thinking about getting that. So we plugged that in, and then went through a Marshall 1960 cab, and... first chord I hit, I was like, that's it. That's the noise I was looking for. So I bought that, played through the Marshall for quite a while with that, and then I actually went out and got the 50-watt 5153, and that amp is just the best.
Yeah, that seems like it would work out real well with your band. Is that the 6L6 one, or is it the EL34?
6L, it's the white one, so 6L.
6L6,
yeah. EL34, it's got the yellow or the
gold or whatever,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Yeah, well, coincidentally, Corey, who I was from 215, he bought one of those too.
Yeah.
The same one.
Yeah, they're
but
great.
he's got he bought a Mesa cab.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a 6505 combo. It's in my closet, but
Yeah.
that one's got vintage 30s in it.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's, we don't have to bore people with the history of that, but they're more or less the same-ish thing. I think probably the newer 5150, like what you have, probably has a better clean tone, but obviously they're not known. That's not what you get that amp for.
No, you get it to get
to
nasty.
get fucking nasty, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's a high gain, EVH, Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, right.
Shout out to the guy.
Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah.
Preston.
Yeah.
We'll pour one out
I'd
for you.
pour one out, but I mean,
Yeah.
you got carpet.
I got a nice rug on the floor.
There you go.
Yeah, I like those. I was I've been looking for because I have the combo, and that's awesome. I downsized, but it's still heavier as fuck.
Oh yeah.
So I've been looking at getting like a mini head.
Yep.
I've been looking at that, like the PRS, the Mark Tremonti head. It's a
Okay.
little 15-watt lunchbox.
Yep.
2-channel beast. And then I was looking at like the you look at the EVH or the 6505 mini head.
Yeah.
I've been I always look at them and I haven't pulled the trigger because it's like, I should probably like sell some shit, but I don't want to sell anything. So it's like,
well, that's hard to do. Like, I don't know, like a lot of people, I think they go out there thinking they got to get the 100-watt amp and stuff like that. They got to have that 100-watt head, that half stack, full stack or whatever. And it's like, coming from the sound engineer side of stuff, if you're playing in a bar that's got a max capacity of 80 people, you're going to blow everyone out of the water just to get your tone where you want with a tube amp, obviously,
yeah.
So, I mean, you're going to drown out everyone else in your band. I mean, any show you're going to play, I mean, you really don't need anything bigger than a 50-watt amp.
No, and that's, you're not even really pushing into the sweet spot of the amp anyways.
Yeah.
Because, when we were growing up, you know, you get the 100-watt head, but it was solid state.
Yep.
And who knows what the fucking science is there, but between a 100-watt solid state and a 100-watt tube is a world of fucking difference.
Absolutely.
The what do you call it? Yeah, the loudness, even if it's pushing the same decibel level.
Yeah.
The tube amp seems so much fucking louder.
Absolutely.
If you I put my amp, mine's a 60 watts.
Yep.
You know, it's got two 12s in it. I put it up to like, I was sitting in here one day just fucking around. I'm like, wife's not home. She wouldn't care, but you know, you don't get away with it for so long.
Yeah.
I'm going to push it up to like, see how far I can go. I run it at 2 max.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fucking loud. Like that plays with a band easy.
Yep.
Crank it up to 3. Okay. It's getting a little testy here. 4. Fuck. I got to 5 and I was like, nope. Done. Dead. Yeah. Cats are, I got cats. They're going to fucking have heart attacks, So I'm like, no, I'm done. That was fucking loud.
Well,
yeah. It was
even when we played up at Q&Z Expo Center and stuff, like, I mean, that's a fairly decent sized venue. And I remember my amp I was at 5, halfway.
And that was probably as loud as it's ever been.
Well, it was plenty loud, I mean, the sound engineer is like, you gonna turn up a little bit? And I was like, kind of inching up as I was at like 3.5 or so. I kind of inch up. He's like, a little bit more. I'm like, are you sure?
Really?
Inches it up? He's like, yeah, up. I'm like, okay. I go to 5 and he's like, right there. I was like,
yeah.
All right, buddy.
You're a sound guy, so you're like, yeah, should turn it down.
Yeah.
And then the guitar, but yeah, I get to turn it up.
Yeah.
Oh man, okay. Tell me when to stop. Tell me when to stop.
I want to give this guy a hug.
Yeah. You're the man.
Yeah.
Can I get you a beer?
Yeah. Anything you need.
Yeah, so that's why I'm looking at those kind of lower wattage, because they're 15 watts. Oh, that's not that loud. You can definitely hang with the band.
Oh yeah.
If I've heard people with those the little ones, like the little orange ones, that are like 5 or 10 watts.
Yep.
Hang with the band if you play it through a 412 speaker.
Yeah. Well, I guess, and I don't know exactly how accurate this is, but I heard at one point in time I was talking with a buddy at Mike's Music, and he was telling me that I guess the difference in volume between a 50 watt and 100 watt amp. Tube amp is about 3 decibels.
Yeah, which is
it's
inaudible.
Negligible, difference there.
Yeah.
So
and that between a 20 watt and a 50 watt is probably
another 3 or 5, something like that.
And that's negligible too.
Yeah.
So but 100 watts, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's how they used to do that back in the day, though. They'd have 2, 3 full stacks with 100-watt Marshalls on the top of them, and they're cranked.
Oh yeah.
Well, they didn't run the guitar through the PA.
Yeah.
They had to when they're playing Woodstock or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm shooting for the moon on that.
Outdoor festivals.
Yeah. And then you don't mic the shit. And then you always see them. You see all those old Jimi Hendrix ones where he's got like 3 mics in front of him because they didn't make big enough PAs back then, so they would have to string 3 PAs together, hence the reason he's got 3 mics. Blasting over 300 watts of Marshalls right fucking behind him.
It's weird to think, you think you had technology back then, but I mean, really on the grand scope of things, I mean, humans have only been recording music or the human voice for a little over 100 years now. I mean, as long as the car's been around, or maybe longer than that with other stuff. But I mean, like for the majority, like recording modern music and stuff like that started back in the 20s and 30s and stuff. So I mean, it's not a lot has
no, it's young, but I think the technology in the last 10, 15 years, it was here, and then all of a sudden it went like this. Because it's just like, you hear us a bunch, but it's like, it's the golden age for like guitarists, for sure.
Yeah.
All the technology that they do for our stupid asses.
Yep.
People trying to do different guitars, and that's neither here nor there. It's, if you're into it, you're into it. But like the pedals, the amps, you make like the Oxbox or like that 2 notes torpedo thing, the IR loader or the attenuators.
Okay.
You know, where you can get to the sweet spot in a 50-watt tube amp, and then you attenuate it down so you don't die.
Yeah, Radial makes that head load.
Oh yeah,
for that.
same
Jim,
idea. Yeah,
Jim runs that head load. It's great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you can, like you're saying, you can push the hell out of the amp.
Yeah.
And then just roll
dial
that
her
signal
down. So
back.
then it's like, okay, I'm not dying now.
Yeah.
You know, or like with the IR loaders and stuff, like the aux box and the two notes has IR in it, so you could just run that straight out of there, and it'll be into the PA, and it'll be like you're running a 412.
Yeah.
You know, vintage 30 loaded, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the fucking technology is
it's crazy
and is unreal. So then it's like, well, I could get that 100-watt head, but you're not using it.
Well,
you know,
and now you got all these pedals. You know, I've never been real big into pedals. I have enough trouble playing the right notes and singing, and then now I got to focus on hitting these things with my feet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, didn't get too into it, but I mean, there's a lot of really neat stuff out there. Like I have a harmonist at home. I have the Boss harmonist or whatever. I've been messing with that here and there. I actually ran vocals through that, and it's actually kind of interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, they got the Electro Harmonics. I think makes that B9 pedal or whatever. That's got the organ one.
Yeah.
I mean, the things they can make guitars do now is just. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then the modelers and stuff, you know, they've come a long way from the pod. Yeah. You know, those modelers I was considering the like even the that Pod Go, the new Line 6 one, where it runs like the Helix, only it doesn't have all the shit the Helix does.
All right.
Like it does, call it 3 things at once rather than like a million that the Helix would. But it's set up exactly like the Helix. It still uses all the same amp sims, the whole thing. And it's, for what it is, it's cheap. Yeah. I mean, it's still like $500-$600, but for what it is, it's like,
well, it's affordable.
It's fucking cheap.
You know, I mean, what do those Helixes go for? I mean, like,
yeah, they're 12, 15, something in there.
Some of the other modelers I've seen, I mean, they're like $3,000-$4,000 for them.
Yeah, and I think those are coming down now because everybody's general, but like there's 3 big ones now. You know, the Kemper, the Axe-Fx, and the Helix, rather than, you know, there was just the Axe-Fx for a while.
No.
You know, and Kemper was just in their box for a while, but now they have a floorboard too.
Okay.
And it's like, I think hey, we can charge this because we're the only game in town. And then, you know, so it all comes together a little bit more. They all do their own things better or worse, you know, but then they also have, I like this better than this, you know, so it's all just a personal thing. But you can run if you're using floorboard, and really in all honesty, if you have this and then you have like a 68 Fender Bassman that you're basing it off of, and you can A/B the two, 95% of the people aren't gonna. It's not a big enough notice that you're gonna be like, oh, you need the tubes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm playing a fucking bar gig. They don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah,
you know,
the modelers, like you're saying, they've come just in leaps and bounds. I'm still more of a traditionalist. I love my tubes. I love my tube amps. You know, if I have my choice between a modeler and playing a tube amp, I'm probably going to pick the tube amp time and time again. But that being said, I've heard a lot of these modeling amps and stuff now. Boy, have they come a long ways. I mean, you go back 10, 15 years, you know, to like, you know, the old modeling pedals, like I think Digitech had one, Boss had one, you know, those stuff. And you listen to them and you're like, yeah, okay, buddy.
They sounded good back then.
Yeah,
somehow.
Well, yeah. But
somehow,
now
but
you
then you're
listen
like,
to them.
oh, Jesus.
Yeah. but how far they've come it's really impressive. It really is, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there's something to be said about it, I guess.
No kidding, you know. Yeah, and then yeah, I think the attenuators with the IR loaders are really neat, but there is something to be said for playing in a tube amp, because like when we're talking now, this is a few weeks before anybody else is going to hear this, but the podcast I have coming out in like an hour, I lined up some of my drive pedals and just fucked around.
Yeah.
Okay. Something a little different. Whatever. It's fun. Yeah. You know, make some fucking noise, right? But I know those things. I was running them straight into an amp sim with the IR loader, so it was running out of a 412 with vintage 30s. That's what the IR was. Running into an amp sim, but I know they react different when you're playing through a tube amp.
Yep.
This is kind of like a solid state-ish, in the box kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it reacts a certain way, but I know for sure if I plugged it into my amp, there are certain things and it's noticeable right away.
Oh yeah.
It reacts differently. That's where like these modelers of today have really come up because they somehow have gotten the tube reaction.
Yeah, how that's that soft clipping of the tubes.
Yeah,
or
the sag, whatever you call it. They've been able to work that in.
Yeah.
So when you dial back, on a solid state, for instance, when we were back in the day, you dial back the volume. If you did so, it sounded about the same until it shut off.
Yep.
The tube amp reacts different.
Oh yeah.
And then you run the pedal and it'll do the same thing. But with the modelers now, they do that too.
Yeah.
Which is
how they figured out the science to take something that's like with tubes and stuff. I mean, the power and the distortion, it's so linear, within a computer, they're taking snapshots every couple seconds or, milliseconds.
Yeah.
They're taking snapshots and then your resolution, gets better or whatever like that, and be able to take that real linear power, combination between the power and the preamp tubes and the signal going through that smooth curve and take that into a computer and actually be able to get that kind of resolution and that kind of reaction that the tubes do and emulate that is pretty great.
It's pretty fantastic. Yeah. And I think probably the snapshot, if we were talking about before the Line 6 pod, the snapshot was like this.
Yep.
And then, the Boss, whatever that was, GT 1000 was this. Now it's here. 5 years, who knows?
Yeah.
Obviously we're going to get to a point to diminishing returns at some point, but it's still going to, it's going to be much better. And I think at some point, maybe it's 10 years, maybe it's 20, I don't know. But there's going to be a point where people look back at the modelers from right now and look at them like we look at the pod.
Yep.
Because right now we're like, fuck, man, I can't tell a difference. Oh. But back then it was like, fuck, man, that sounds pretty damn good.
There's probably going to be a market for it too, like how, people nowadays are looking for the regular Nintendos and stuff like that and the old video game systems.
Got them all out there, brother. I'm a nerd for that too.
There's going to be a whole generation of guitarists out there looking for these Digitech RP100s and all these old, like what we consider
lo-fi digital sounds. What I got pictured here is okay. Remember the RP100? Okay, hold on. The one with the expression pedal. Well, if we take C3 and then take the expression pedal and put it back to 65%, that's the tone I'm looking for.
Yeah. Like, all right, bud. This wasn't popular when this pedal was popular, but I guess we're gonna go with it.
Wait, couldn't we just take a Fender DeVille and put it up to 5? Nope, that's not what I'm looking for.
Nope.
It's not what I'm looking for. Even if it's the 410. No, don't come at with me with that shit. I know what I want.
My grandpa said this was the best pedal ever when he was 14.
Your grandpa didn't know shit.
Oh, it's true. But I think there's gonna be a market for that old, just like old vintage amps. I think something doesn't have to be good to be nostalgic.
Yeah, and there's always a use. It seems like there's always a use. There's somewhere, if you're like I guess this is kind of a studio setup. This is where I do all the studio shit. There's going to be tones that you can find anywhere. That's why you have a lineup of guitars. That's why you put all your effects. If it's in the box or whatever, you got a bunch of stomp boxes. And my stomp box collection is starting to grow a little bit more, just like my Funko collection.
Yeah, you're doing well.
But there's always going to be that spot. You're going to have something in your head that goes, "I know that thing will do it."
Yep.
it could be this little shitty 8-inch Gorilla amp.
Yeah.
You remember those. But it has one tone, if you crank that fucker all the way up, that you want for 5 seconds in the song.
Yeah.
And you could get it from that.
Yeah.
So you could
Sometimes that's what it needs,
pull that thing out.
There's solid state amps are there for a reason. There's tones that a lot of people get out of them that are great. It's what I love about music, and art in general. It's very personal and subjective.
Absolutely.
So I mean, what you think's great, someone else might think sucks, or vice versa. And in the end, we're just all creating, I guess. And,
however you get fill your picture in.
Yep, for sure.
It's all different. I mean, everybody, you get that. There's a lot of you get in the gear nerd stuff and you read stuff, and there's in one group, everybody's got to say that whatever, something sucks, whatever it is. You got one group that says it all sucks, and then there's another group that says, no, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But there's always a team.
Yeah.
Just like with anything in this world these days, is that everybody wants to be on a team. And it's so funny when I'm definitely guilty of that. I am not saying I like Nickelback or anything like that, but I used to harbor hate for Nickelback. Like if I was hanging out in a bar and a Nickelback song come up, I would leave.
Yeah.
I don't like it, and I don't have to like it, but I don't harbor that hate anymore.
Yeah.
I put a lot of energy into hate Nickelback.
Oh yeah. It's like, where's your energy best spent? I mean, I'm not a huge fan myself either and stuff, but I mean, I guess you got to respect their body of work and popularity
and teach their own, right?
Yep. If someone likes it, like I'm vehemently do not like Five Finger Death Punch. I'm not a fan.
I'm in that boat too.
But I mean, if you want to like it, great. Yeah. If it speaks to you, listen to it.
Yeah.
Blare that shit. I mean, like I said, it's very personal. I mean, if it speaks to you, it speaks to you.
It speaks to you. Yeah. Yeah. They have that that kind of, I don't know, Nickelback hate is different.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people forget why you hate Nickelback now. Like it's been so long that you hate Nickelback that you
I don't even know
forget.
why I'm angry anymore.
I don't even. All I know is I don't like him.
Yeah.
It's like that bully in school where you don't remember exactly what he did, but you don't like him.
Yeah.
So if you saw him tomorrow, you'd still go, "Fuck that guy."
Yeah.
Wait, he's and then your buddy goes, "No, he's the nicest guy ever." He's like, "No, that guy, I don't know, stole my pencil when I was in 3rd fucking grade. Fuck that guy."
That guy?
Yeah, that guy's not cool.
He sits with little kids with cancer nowadays.
Yeah,
it's like,
fuck that guy. He stole my fucking pencil, but that was a really cool pencil.
Yeah, this is my Lisa Frank pencil. It's the only one I had. I had to not eat for 3 days so I could buy that fucking thing. Yeah.
And then he stole it. Fuck this guy.
Man.
I'm in that boat with Five Finger Death Punch though. I don't know. It's one of those, I don't believe him.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know what I don't know. I don't believe them.
For me, separately, their guitars and their music is great, and the vocalist is a great vocalist. But when you mash those two things together, his voice just seems so juxtaposed to the music.
Okay.
It just doesn't seem to meld right, I guess.
Kind of placating to the masses by numbers, it seems like.
Yeah, well, it's a lot what popular country music, the mainstream country music. I mean, they have the same recipe. And they just kind of,
I saw there was a YouTube video, this was a few years back, that they took 10 really popular country songs.
Yep.
And they put them all in time.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost exactly the same tempo within 3 or so beats per minute.
Oh, yeah.
Same chord progressions. And you could just take the melodies in and out, and they were exactly the same.
Oh yeah, and I mean there is only a finite amount of notes,
sure.
There's a certain amount of chord progressions and stuff. There's going to be overlap here and there and stuff. But when a genre of music goes to a formula like that,
Yeah.
because they know it sells. You know.
Well, and that's, we get back into the history of country music. That has been, we'll just say, quote unquote, the Nashville way.
Yeah.
For as long as, they've been trying, since the pop chart and the country chart has been a thing, as they've been trying to cross over. That's that. And it isn't, in the 90s it killed it. No, they were trying to do that in the 80s. They were trying to do that in the 70s, the 60s, the 50s. You go as far back, country music has always been trying to cross over.
Yep.
And then that's when you get Buck Owens out in Bakersfield being ignored by by Nashville, even though he's outselling Nashville.
Yeah.
And then you go into the outlaw movement. They weren't playing by Nashville's rules anymore. Willie Nelson had to get out of Nashville to create his own way because they didn't think his way was going to work.
Yeah.
Even though he wrote, Crazy, Patsy Cline, he wrote that fucking song, but they didn't think that he was going to make it as a solo artist. So he went back to Texas, and then he's Willie fucking Nelson.
Yeah.
The outlaw movement, it's the same thing. It keeps getting recycled. And then you have the outliers who are pushing it forward. So that's where that is it authentic thing always comes back in,
Yeah.
But Nashville's always been trying to do that. My point being is they've always tried to get into the pop thing.
Yep.
And sometimes it works. So when that works, that one works, they try to do that
Over and over.
and over and over. So like the Countrypolitan thing back in the 60s with all the orchestras and the whole thing, that worked once, and then they tried to do that. But you can't say but if you're looking back at the authenticity of country music, you can't say you hate that, because then if you say, well, you like George Jones, right? Well, yeah. Well, he did Countrypolitan. That was pretty much his entire thing. So it's like, fuck, I guess I can't hate that.
Yeah. I hate it when I learn about things I can't hate about.
Yeah, but yeah, they've always had a formula, and right now we're deeply in that formula where it's about the same beats per minute,
Yeah.
the same 4 chords. They put a little bit of a steel guitar in the background and a fiddle, and then it's country music. And then the guy talks about riding with his girl in his pickup truck.
Yeah.
And then there it is.
Yeah, it's the subject matter is typically
and there's some
same.
There's some in, well, I guess not some, but like I like Luke Combs. Luke Combs is he's in that.
Okay.
He's actually got more. His first 6, 7, maybe 8 singles went number 1.
Oh.
And but I like him. And then there's a couple of people that are kind of in that, but eventually I'll get to my point here.
I get you.
My
No, it's all right.
long-winded thing here. But then you have to think, okay, well, what is the saving grace of this music? The production values are really good.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get into rock music where everything's now overproduced. This was always a sticking thing for me, and I've kind of loosened up on this rather recently.
Yeah.
Because it's like, fuck, the production is really good, but it also does sound like just robots are playing this shit.
Yeah.
There
is, and I've been getting into a lot of, like I said, different music and stuff like that. And Pandora for me is just great for that. Because I can, whatever artist I'm into at the time, I can just type that in. They probably have a station for them, and then it introduces me to a lot of bands I might not have heard of and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of, especially like this folk style music and a lot of the kind of bluegrassy kind of alt country stuff, doesn't really have a high, hi-fi, high production value. It's more of a lo-fi kind of in the room with the guy type of thing. And there's a lot of honesty in that, I think. And it gets back to like you were saying, believing the people when they're singing. So, I I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there. It's just searching for it, I guess.
Yeah, it's right on the fringes. It's just like in rock music too, where you think what's on the radio, if rock radio exists right now, it all kind of sounds the same. But then if you go a little bit, fuck, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's kind of cool too. Mm-hmm. You start finding these things. It's just they're not. I mean, nothing in rock music right now is punching you in the face, but there's still rock music hits. They're just not pop hits right now. And it'll come back. It always does. It's everything does. But those people that are right on the outside they have a groundswell, that they're cool. The album sounds how you want it to sound. They're there, and just like in, rock music, country music, like I said, Chris Stapleton before, he got to a certain point by doing his own thing, but like Dave Cobb, he's the producer of those records, and they do all that stuff in the room, and you can hear that.
Yeah.
If you put on Tennessee Whiskey, the band is playing that, and they're doing it live.
Yep.
That's how he records albums.
Okay.
So that's his rhythm section. I don't know if you go on YouTube and just look up some Chris Stapleton live stuff.
Yep.
His rhythm section is so fucking badass. They're so tight, and they, obviously they play a million shows a year.
Yeah.
Until recently, but they're all playing that, and then Dave Cobb, the producer, he's playing the acoustic. Mm-hmm. It's just those four guys, and then if they have backup vocals or something like that, like Chris Stapleton's wife does backup vocals for him.
Oh, nice.
And the family tours, they have his wife's mother was a teacher that retired, so they bring her to homeschool their kids on tour. So they're constantly all together, and they go all over the country and do Chris Stapleton shit. Huh. But that's all how that's recorded.
Nice.
He records in Nashville, and you can really tell, And then a lot of those, like Sonny Sweeney, for instance, her album. She doesn't work with Dave Cobb, but her albums are like, it at least sounds like they're sitting, playing.
Yeah,
they're playing the record, and the production is great, And then like Tyler Childers, his production is different, but it's still awesome.
His range of stuff, I think, really impressed me. You got songs like Rock, Salt, and Nails, where it's like, it's just him and a guitar, and then you got songs like Universal Sound that's like got kind of a whole production behind it and stuff like that, and be able to kind of do all that stuff is really cool.
Yeah, it is really neat. Like I don't know if you're into Sturgill Simpson too much.
Not too much. I hear some stuff.
I'm not super duper into him, but I love how every album is different.
Yeah, and
it fucks with people, and he loves doing that. Like he just came out with a bluegrass album.
Oh yeah,
and there's people that are the internet exploding over this fucking thing because like. If you're getting into bluegrass at all, I'm not super into bluegrass, but I know traditional bluegrass, there is a line that you do not cross with instruments and how it's set up. This is bluegrass. This is what the fuck it is. If you try to do anything else, it's good. It's not going to be good for you.
Yeah, right.
Well, he said, fuck all that. And he made this bluegrass album that's just nuts.
Nice.
So he's done crazy shit. He started off when he first heard of Sturgill Simpson. He was one of the country music traditionalists, and then he started doing this, get a little like acid rocky-ish kind of thing, and then he's starting to do all sorts of these things. But he's just like, people are going to follow me, and if they don't, fuck them.
Oh, people are probably looking at him like the first time Bob Dylan got on stage with an electric guitar.
Yeah, right. Same idea, yeah. I was going to say, because we were talking about Sturgill Simpson, then I keep talking about Chris Stapleton. There's a version of Midnight Train to Memphis. It's a Chris Stapleton song.
Yep, I know it.
That they played on Saturday Night Live, but he had Sturgill Simpson come and play with him.
Okay.
Oh, it's fucking sick as shit.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's super awesome. So maybe after we're done, I'll pull it up. It's just a fucking super awesome performance of the song.
Well, I've been doing a lot of covers and stuff lately of a lot of these, guys that I'm discovering and stuff, and these acoustic one-man type operations, and I keep getting asked to learn that Tennessee Whiskey song, and it's like, geez, I've tried it a couple times. I don't know why. For some reason, I can't seem to wrap my head around it.
If you try to get the vocal runs exactly,
yeah, the guy's great.
Singer.
Stupid great singer.
I think the feel of the whole band is what makes that, because it's a kind of a washy, kind of thing like that. So it's like, you try to do that on acoustic, you can do it, but I don't know. I mean, you're a very talented singer and guitar player, so it's like you could probably figure out a way to do it, but it's going to have to be more a Mike Matthews way to do it rather than a Chris Stapleton way to do it, or a George Jones way of doing it, because that's what it is. So yeah, there's a way. Obviously, it's just I think you'd have to. Because of just how it's done, I think if you do like an ode to it, rather than like trying to do a cover of it, because if you listen to the George Jones version then the Chris Stapleton version, they're very different. So and most people don't even know that's George Jones' song. So I think if you do a Mike Matthews version of it, I think you could pull it off.
And that's what I do with a lot of the songs I do. Or covers, more odes to the song, I guess, than covers, because I'm not these people. So I do what I can, and like even changing some popular songs, like I've been messing with taking happy songs and transposing them to minor keys and then singing them as and they take on whole different meanings. Like I did I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. And I've been playing that at there's a couple open jams that are still going on here and there that I kind of show up to sporadically, and I tried that one where it was just you're playing I Want to Hold Your Hand in a minor key, and instead of being this happy song about love, it turns into this almost like longing song and depression song almost.
I can hear it.
Stuff. It's really great. It's actually a lot of fun to do. So
have you you said you got a lot of your recording stuff at home now. Have you been recording any of these?
Not really. More or less just kind of playing and for me type of stuff. Every time I'm like, I should probably just hit the record button and go and jam. I just end up sitting down and jamming and never hitting that record button.
I think you should do it. I think you should hit the record button.
Yeah.
Even if you just put them on YouTube.
Yeah.
You don't have to, and you can kind of, you can do a recording, right, but then do a performance video or something like that. I think it would be really cool. It'll get you, by doing this podcast to be involved in music still. It'll still, it'll keep the appetite.
Yeah.
I
always worry about like the, I guess it's always in the back of my head, the legal implications of doing a version of a song and putting it on YouTube. I mean, is there something there? I'm not internet savvy when it comes to a lot of that.
There's
stuff.
Some bands that will ban. They'll just pull it down. But most of the groups, they'll let it on there, but you'll get demonetized.
But
it's not like you have to have a certain level to even be considered for monetization anyways.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely not even close to that. Not comparing, but you know what I mean? Like if you're just here and you're just putting them out, you're saying this is, in the description, this is my version of this song X by band Y.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's all it'll be.
Well, and I know like there's some artists like I know Sean James was one of these guys that he actually did a song for a video game The Last of Us 2, I believe, Through the Valley. It's kind of a take on a older kind of blues standard, I believe.
Okay.
And he had a competition for a while for people to cover that song, his version of that song, and then that's, I guess, what made it into the video game.
Oh,
There's a whole competition for it. And and he's really appreciative. On his fan page on Facebook, a lot of people will post their covers of his songs, and he'll go and listen to them and like them. And
he's all in on it.
Yeah. Well, and it's a small world too. I mean, he's I believe talked with Tom from 20 Watt Tombstone and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And stuff like that. I think they've. Don't quote me on this, but I believe they played some festivals together at some point in time, or something along those lines.
Shout out to Tom and Mitch, 20 Watt Tombstone.
Yep.
I talked to Tom about being on the show. Eventually, we'll get there.
Yeah,
But-
he's one of those guys that's a drive away there.
Yeah, so we'll just do a virtual thing, which is fine.
get your bathroom ready for Mitch if they do come over. You know?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that dude's pooped in more countries than most people I know.
He's got to have that app.
Yeah.
You think he's got to have that Where I've Pooped app or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it's called. Shout out to Tom and Mitch. We love you.
Oh yeah, miss you guys.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Well, I guess as we're running down here, Alloy Plot, did you guys have any shows that you had to cancel this year, or was it kind of wide open? Because I know you guys typically don't book like 9 months out or something like that.
We're usually a month or two in advance, and then like I said, Jim got busy at work and stuff like that, which I totally respect. The guy's following his dreams, and more power to him on that aspect of stuff. So we kind of had to slow down, and we were also in the midst of recording a second album.
Oh yeah,
So we had some chunks of that done, and then the whole COVID thing hit, and everything got put on freeze frame there.
yeah,
So.
yeah. It's just been a fucking drag, ain't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what else can you say that
Yeah.
hasn't already been said and screamed and yelled about?
Absolutely.
Just been a fucking drag, you
Yeah.
know. And the only thing that one of the things that really suck about this is that there was like, it doesn't seem like there was any help for artists.
No.
You know, early on in this thing, I kind of half-assed walked a little bit through that CARES Act thing a little bit as far as how it could help musicians, and how I read it, and what I read and all the things that I said was, you know, musicians, artists, gig employees could do this, but then it didn't seem like it really was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like there's no help for, for if you're a self-employed, or you're a gigging artist or anything like that. There's no fucking help.
Oh no. And you're basically your source of income is
It's gone.
it's taken away from you. I mean, you look like we were talking with
Yeah.
20 Watt Tombstone. I
Yep.
mean, that's what these guys do for a living, and they're flipping amazing at it. You know,
Yeah.
they're great at it, and to have all your jobs, evaporate in front of you like that is
Yeah.
stuff. So get out
Yeah.
there and buy merch yet.
Yeah.
lot of
20watttubestone.com. Go buy their merch. They were actually on tour when the shutdown happened.
Yep.
So they were on tour and gigs were getting canceled, but they were still playing the gigs they could get to.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually everything dried up. So they were in Texas, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
And they had to come home,
Yep.
So yeah, it's just
Yeah. Do what you can to help out the artists. I guess,
absolutely,
you know.
regardless if it's Tom and Mitch from 20 Watt, they do a bunch of pre-sales for their merch. They have fantastic merch. But yeah, anybody, but I try to say I still buy CDs and shit.
Yeah.
I don't really buy MP3s. I might have only bought one album of MP3 ever. So I always buy CDs. I want to look through the thing.
Oh, yeah, you want the artwork.
But I always try to, if the artist is selling, I like to try it because then they get the cash.
Absolutely.
Like Deftone just came out with a new album not that long ago. I bought it from Deftones.com.
Yep.
Rather than, going to.
Third
Could have got it
party
on
vendor.
Amazon.
Yeah.
And I like to go to like exclusive company and stuff like that when I can, but they're, I got to travel whenever, to get to one, but I like to go when I can.
Oh yeah.
And I try to buy stuff from them too. So, but yeah, try to buy, stuff from the artist.
Yeah.
That's the main fucking deal.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're going to do this. Put you on the
On the big
hottie seat
screen.
here. Yeah, the
All
big
right.
screen. Anything else you want to plug? Do you want to proclaim that you're going to record these songs and put them out? Anything else? I know this is a weird section, but
Yeah, I mean, like I said, here and there, I've been playing some open jams as safely as we can. I need that outlet, so I've been doing that here and there. So I mean, if you feel safe, want to catch me out and do what you can at this point. I mean, I'm doing some acoustic stuff here and there. I'm not on Facebook anymore. So it's if you find me, you do. If you don't, well.
You gonna hop on an Instagram at all or anything, or just leave it alone?
I just have no use for a news feed. I mean,
good enough, brother.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think I'm probably going to be recording some stuff here. I've been working a little bit with Kyle Lusink. From Dreams Will Fade.
Yep.
We've been jamming around, playing some acoustic stuff, and he's got a million kids. So I mean, it's like he just had twins.
Oh shit!
Yep.
Really? Oh,
Yep.
I don't know if I knew that or not.
Yeah, just had twins. And he named me the Godfather, which I was
very,
very flattered by.
Congratulations,
great.
Kyle. I haven't talked to you in a while, but congratulations, buddy.
But yeah, we've been doing some stuff here and there, so hopefully we'll hit that record button soon enough and actually get some stuff out into the world.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. So, all right, well, that's been Mike Matthews. You've been Mike Matthews.
Yes, I have. My life.
If that is, in fact, your real name.
Well.
I've been Johnny Ruckus. Hey. This is Can I Get More Podcasts on the Monitor? Thank you very much. Okay, there you have it. Mike Matthews, everybody. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed part 2 of my conversation as much as I did. Find the Alloy Plot on Facebook at Alloy Plot. Follow the show on Facebook and Instagram at Podcasts on My Monitor. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Parler at The Johnny Ruckus. Please like and subscribe on the YouTube. Visit anchor.fm/podcasts on my monitor. Go buy a t-shirt at teespring.com/stores/The Johnny Ruck Tees. Again, thanks everybody. For Mike Matthews, I am Johnny Ruckus. Be better today than you were yesterday. Bye now.